Hey guys, welcome back to WD18, the Watford fans channel, here for another preview. This time the Golden Boys head to the Black Country to take on Wolverhampton Wanderers in a 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday afternoon. As always with these previews, it's nice to have a look back at our last game, and we can actually do that as we won in midweek, our second win of the season. A 2-1 win against Swansea, courtesy of goals from Danny Welbeck, scoring his first for the Hornets, and of course Roberto Pereira. In a game, of course, that saw a really good run out for the likes of Sebastian Prödl, Domingos Quina, and everyone's favourite second choice goalkeeper, say that right, Aurelio Gomez. Listen, it was good to see some of the lads get a good run out, especially the likes of Danny Welbeck, who I think has been well due a start for a really long time now, and the fact that he scored in midweek means hopefully we might actually see him on Saturday. There's no guarantees, of course, but I think it'd be really good to see him. And of course, that win means Watford book their place into the next round of the League Cup, where they'll be facing Everton away from home. Really tough tie, that one, actually. It'll be interesting to see the kind of team that Flores puts out for that. But looking ahead, of course, to Saturday's game, it's important we try and carry on that momentum as best as we possibly can, because we've picked up 2 wins this season, both in the League Cup. We haven't picked up a win yet in the Premier League, and we're now in late September. Results have got to start coming at some point, right? So I think it's the best time to do that. It's got to start, I think, from this weekend. 2 big matches, as I've said on other social media platforms as well. 2 big games coming up. This one Saturday, and then next Saturday against Sheffield United, back at Vicarage Road again, which feels like a very long time since we were back there. But these are 2 games that we need to try and get points from. The only way in which we can do that is, of course, by scoring goals, of course, and that's just somewhat seems to have eluded us in the last couple of weeks or so, and that's why it was encouraging to see Danny Welbeck score in midweek. I hope he gets the start that he does deserve on Saturday. And in regards to who starts on Saturday, we'll go into a predicted lineup in a bit, but first let's get into a little bit of team news. Starting off, of course, with Troy Deeney, who gave a good interview in the week to Emma Saunders and the club's channel, talking about, of course, his recovery. He's still a bit of a way, I think, from recovery. He even said in his own words that he doesn't want to put a time on it, people to hold him against that. That indicates to me that he's going to be out for a pretty long time, as he just kind of negotiates his rehabilitation. The likes of Isaac Success and Craig Cathcart are also out as well for Watford this weekend. And with that in mind, let's get into a bit of a predicted lineup, of course. I'm not too sure what formation Flores is necessarily going to play. I thought it was quite an experiment. Well, we'll remember what happened last Saturday, of course, an experimental team, which saw Kika Femenia start at right back and Dimitri Folkier turn up and get subbed off after half an hour. The Grandpa Simpson meme comes into really good effect there. If you know, you know. Let's go into a starting 11 for the game. Of course, goalkeeper. It's a tough one. Usually I go with Ben Foster every week. He committed an absolute howler of a mistake from my perspective against City. He shouldn't be doing that. Sliding out and not getting the ball with over the Mahrez incident, and then of course Aguero stepping up and scoring the penalty. He should know better. Someone of Foster's experience and know-how really should know better to not do that. Will Gomez start? Nope. And I don't see any of the younger lads in Backman and Dalberg making any kind of a play to start the game. So I think Foster just starts in goal. Back 4, right back, Daryl Janmaat must start. If I see Kika Femenia, I will scream the entire concourse down at Molineux. I do not want to see him there. Just absolutely dreadful against City. And I know it's the quality of City's players, but Kika had an absolute mare. Oh God, he looked like he'd won a bloody competition to play in the side, to be honest. He's just no defensive know-how. He's been poor the last few weeks. Just get rid of him. Janmaat's the better right back, and it's just as simple as that. Elsewhere in the back 4, no Cathcart, so I'm going to have to go for Christian Kabasele. I'm going to go Adrian Mariappa as well. I just don't want to see Dawson start. Left back for me would probably be Jose Holebas. Midfielders, 3 I'm going to go for in the midfield. I think I'm aiming to go for like a 4-3-3 kind of formation, even I'm not even sure Flores is going to play that. Abdullah Doucouré, Etienne Capoue, and I'd love to see Domingos Quina in that 3. I think he was one of our best players in midweek. Give him a start, Flores, please. Just give him a chance. He's far and away. I think he's probably one of the best midfielders at the club. And that's who I play in the 3. Then 3 up top, I go left-hand side and go for Ismail Assar. Right-hand side, Gerard Deulofeu with Danny Welbeck playing down the middle. You've got to start Delafeu, you've got to start Ismail Assar, you've got to start Danny Welbeck. We need to get 3 points from this game. And now let's talk about our opponents on Saturday. Wolverhampton Wanderers, who are, I think it's fair to say, in a pretty similar position to us as well. They haven't won a game yet this season. There's many different reasons for that. Europa League football, I think, is kind of playing and taking its toll on their players as well. They picked up a really good 1-1 draw, equaliser, I think, in the 95th minute. Diego Jota with their goal last Sunday against Crystal Palace. That will surely give them a little bit more of a bounce as well, winning a League Cup penalty shootout as well in the week. And so, very similar again to Watford, their 2 wins really have come in the League Cup as well. I believe they've also won a game or 2 in the Europa League as well. But before the game against Palace, they did lose to Chelsea 5-2, and they did lose to Everton 3-2 as well at Goodison Park. So they've been scoring goals, they just haven't been picking up the points really. I think one of their most dangerous players for them, of course, we look at a lot of their really quite talented players. I look at someone like Rui Patricio in goal. I think he's someone who's really solid, someone that I think the Golden Boys are going to have to be really wary of, especially when taking shots against him. He's a great keeper. You've got the likes of Ruben Neves, Raul Jimenez, who will cause us problem after problem if we don't close them down. And that's almost quite shocking, actually, when you do look at that team, especially the fact that they've also strengthened. You look at Patrick Cotrono, who they've bought in as well over the summer. It's kind of really hard to imagine the fact that actually they are struggling to get wins this season. But some fans will say it's early days. I think we're kind of steering away from the early days section of the season now. I think once the 1st of October hits, I think we really are in the build up to autumn and ultimately in the build up to Christmas, and both sides really do need to get their act together. I guess in regards to Wolves' team news, not a whole lot really there. I think they've had a couple of their players are out injured, some of the new signings are out injured, but the big one, of course, for them and the big one for us as well is that Roman Saiss will actually be back. He served a 1-match ban, having been sent off against Palace. He served that in the week. He will be back to face Watford tomorrow afternoon, unfortunately. Let's get in then to a bit of a roundup then of kind of like what I think the game's going to entail. I think first of all, it's pretty hard to imagine the fact that both of these sides were in an FA Cup semi-final in April. Start of the season hasn't been great for either side, but I think for us, it's kind of extended from the back end of last season. It's going to be a difficult game for us. Last season, of course, we pulled off a phenomenal, actually, 2-0 win last season, of course, to the 2 goals in 1 minute scenario through Capu and Pereira. I'd love to see something similar. I'd love to see us go there and just stun the life out of them, because I think if we did something similar, it would be great. A 2-0 win away from home, and so any away win, any win away from home is good, but it will mean even more to us. But this is a must-not-lose game for Watford. I'll say it again. This is a must-not-lose game for Watford. Can we come out of this game with a draw? Yeah, providing we beat Sheffield United next week. We lose on Saturday. Oh, it's gonna start becoming a bit of a pressing concern, really, because we've got 2 games now. Then it's the next international break, and then we come back after international break and we take on Spurs at their new place. Things are not getting any easier. Just start picking up the wins. As I said, though, at some point during this preview, Wolves haven't won a game yet. We haven't won a game yet, and I think the likely outcome of the game is probably going to be a draw. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I don't know. I'm just used to predicting 2-2 draws at the moment. Let's hope we can get a result. I really want us to get a win. I think it'd be a morale-boosting win as well to do it away from home and then carry on the momentum to next Saturday where we take on Sheffield United. We need to start picking up points. It's becoming a bit of a pressing concern. It's going to be interesting to see who Kike selects for the game, but whatever happens, the Golden Boys will be there. I'll be there tomorrow as well, so I'll see you all there. And yeah, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to WD18 and turn on notifications for all the content this season. Have a good one, and I'll see some of you guys tomorrow.